Well, hello again, everybody. Uh, let me first apologize for not having a video out so soon after the first one. But in my defense, Ian just passed through and we went a few days without power. So there were about 3, 4 days where we were without power, so I wasn't able to post my second video. So please accept my heartfelt, sorry, apologies for the absence of my second video. Now let's get into it. So, uh, that little clip there, I'm sure everyone was wondering what happened. I myself, when I first saw that scene, I was like, oh no, like that's how it ends. I mean, how many of us were like, oh no, Mulder is gone? Or how many of us were like, no, it can't be like this. This some kind of trick. It's not over. How many of us actually saw that coming? Or how many of us were like, let's see what happens in the end? So I'll be breaking that little scene down as the video progresses. Now, as you remembered from my first video, well, first I didn't reintroduce myself. So I'm Eldon Cougar. And on my first video, I mentioned that my little channel here would be all about talking about the shows that I've seen, the movies, the TV series, all those from the 90s all the way up to now. So just to name a few of these shows that I'll be doing in our upcoming videos. So there's X-Files, there is Touched by an Angel, and of course Dr. Quinn. I'm sure you've seen uh, those three posters at the beginning of my video, so you'll be able to have an idea of the shows that I'll be breaking down in the next few videos. So today I'll be focusing, of course, on that X-Files, the very last episode of the series. Very sad that it has come to an end because I remembered, of course, the 98 movie. That's when I started uh, paying attention to the whole X-Files series, the whole X-Files issue. I never knew the first season in 93, but again, I remember the 98 movie very well. Don't remember the second movie in 2008, but I do remember the very first movie back in 98. I used to love that movie. Yeah, so I'll be using this video to break down that very last episode. Now, let's get into it. X-Files. X-Files, X-Files, X-Files. Awesome series. The cast wonderful. Even the villains. So we have um, Mr. Davis, Mr. William B. Davis. Love that. Love his portrayal. Uh, David Gillian, awesome. Also helps that Gillian's pretty hot. So yes, awesome show, awesome series from start to finish. No, that obviously won't be breaking down the full series because that will take a lot of time but that we don't have, and I don't want to bore you guys with all the intricate details of the series from the first season to the ninth. I'm not gonna do that. I'll be going from the very last season because I'm sure there's a lot of you guys that were X-Files fans, so you have seen most of the most of the seasons coming up. But I'm just gonna break down this very last season, which was basically the reboot of the series. So I'm excited that they did in fact bring it back for those two last seasons. Uh, and I loved it. I loved it. So breaking down the very last episode, I the very moment that I saw that scene where the cigarette smoking man apparently killed Mulder. I was like, no, it can't. No, I don't see it. I knew there was some other catch to it. So I never thought for 1 second. Well, a part of me was like, well, maybe this was what it came down to in the long run. But another part of me knew because they were chasing the sun, and I knew that he had the ability to transform into anybody. So a part of me was like, maybe this was how Mulder's story would end. But another part of me was like, no, something. I don't think it'll end like this. So, for the most part, I knew there was something. Now, and as for Skinner and Miss Annabeth's character, Monica Reyes, yeah, that's her name. That was unexpected. The fact that they were, what do I say now, minor characters in the last two seasons, I knew they probably wouldn't have been showing up much. But it's actually sad to see those two go. But I mean, I kind of like how their stories ended, or their story arcs came to an end. I'm sad, but I understand it. I mean, that's I think that's pretty creative on the writer's part. So happened. It's sad, but we have to we have to accept that. We have to accept that their story had to end that way, or the writers saw fit to end their stories that way. But all in all, love the series, start to finish. Final episode left a bit of cliffhanger with well when I as I said I knew the mold that was killed was in fact the sun transformed into Mulder. Now, I thought he was dead. Again, a part of me thought he was dead. But again, seeing them focus on the water, even though, well, cigarette smoking man got killed by Mulder and he went over as well in the water. And but the way they kept focusing on that water at the very end, I knew there was just something. I knew it wasn't cigarette smoking man because the whole thing with Mulder shooting him, it was just obvious that he was dead. But the fact that they kept focusing on the water, I'm saying, nah, I bet I bet William is not dead. There's just something in me that said no, they're focusing on that water too much. And then I just saw his head come up out of the water and then faded to black. But I just knew. Now, some of us may say that's too much of a cliffhanger to just leave it hanging like that. And why not just let the water ripple a little bit to show that someone is still alive, whether it's cigarette smoking man or the sun? Why why give us definitive proof that he's still alive and just end the show like that? I kind of have mixed feelings where that is concerned because then it gives us closure on one hand. On the second hand, it sets up or for us who loves to analyze things, for me personally, who loves to analyze, I'm going to say there, on the other hand, it would have been good to go more in depth into the scene as he was actually officially alive and not speculation. We would have liked to see more of his story. We get the gist of it, but the fact that they actually showed officially that he's still alive and not just implied, it would have been good to see where he went and what he did. Also, finally, the fact that Scully was pregnant again, quote unquote, again of two minds. I mean, with the complications of cigarette smoking man claiming to be the father of William, and the whole William thing was not a normal son, we see where it would have made sense that they gave Scully another chance at being a mother, a more comfortable chance at being a mother. So it makes sense that she and Mulder would be proper parents. Now, going in depth and putting her through another birth, giving birth again, we see where I'm seeing, and I'm kind of in agreement with why they chose not to go that route with putting her through that her whole birthing process again. We've seen that in the movie, in the series, sorry, rather, in the earlier episode, her being pregnant with William and giving birth and all that. So, on one hand, it makes sense that they didn't show that process. But on the other hand, the suspense, the whole why drop a bombshell like that and not go further into it. So there's two sides to every story. In every situation, there's always two sides to a story. So I don't know what the other fans would have said um about expounding on that new child, but I don't know what to think ultimately. I'm just of two minds. I gave my both my perspectives, uh, but I don't know which one wins out more. But all in all, again, fantastic series. Loved it. Uh, with with Mulder disappearing and John Daggett coming in, again, two minds. Robert Patrick, awesome, 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 awesome. I mean, being an actor, we expect that, but I mean, good performance. Love seeing John Daggett, awesome. Brilliant partnership with Monica Reyes and even Scully, fantastic. But what happened to him in season 10 and 11? We didn't see that. We know what happened to Monica Reyes, her joining up with cigarette smoking man, but what the hell happened to John Daggett? We don't know what happened. Was he killed? Was he abducted by the aliens who abducted Mulder? I mean, what happened? They didn't clear that up on the show. Maybe Robert Patrick did at some point, but I didn't hear it. So hopefully someone, whoever viewed this video, can help me out here. But if you're gonna comment, please leave a like or dislike, and please subscribe if this video is a step up from the first. I know the first one was very boring, dry, but again, in my defense, it was my very first video. So bear with me. This one is a lot better. Well, yeah, I've put a lot more work into it. I've done some sprucing up, so to speak. So this video will be a lot more spruced. So hopefully you guys will relate to it more and leave a comment, subscribe, like or dislike, please. I'm begging you. Even if you didn't like it, at least show that you actually saw it by disliking. You have the choice to with that thumbs up or thumb down icon right there on your screen. So please, please, please give me a response, give me a comment. If not, I'll take a flame right now. Hey, this stop doing videos. Uh, you're boring. Please make a comment. I'm begging you, so I can know where I'm at if I'm on the right track. So again, uh, X-Files, David Duchovny, Gillian, William B. Davis, Mitch Pileggi, Annabeth. Love you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. And hopefully I'll get to see you guys in some more shows that I'll grow to love. Well, we know there's the rumor that they're in talks to bring back X-Files in some capacity. Let me first say there's no X-Files without the originals. So, Miss Gillian Anderson, please, 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 if there is any any possibility, if not 0.5% possibility of X-Files being brought back, I do not want to see David Duchovny without you. So please give it some thought if they're ever talking about rebooting or having another episode or season. Please, I'm begging you. I have a huge crush on you, seeing you on that show. So please do not just disappear. Do not let David Duchovny and the rest do it by themselves. Please, even if it's an animation, even if it's a cartoon, please do not disappear. I know I would probably say the same thing too about not having any more to tell on Dana Scully's character. Are you just tired? You've been at it since the 90s. Maybe you're just tired and want something else. But remember the fans. All right. Remember us who are loyal. Remember all of us who are loyal to the X-Files. Please do not let us down. So I understand you're being tired and you want to move on to something else, but please, at least sleep on it. So once again, awesome series. Love the ending. Um, even though it left some, even though a lot of us will, some of us, maybe a lot, will be speculating on what happened afterwards. We're gonna give our own take or our own continuation on the X-Files. So again, thank you guys, all the co-stars, Mr. Patrick, Mrs. Gish, um, Pileggi, Mr. Pileggi, uh, of course, Dee Dee, and Mrs. Anderson. Awesome. Fantastic. Love you guys. I'm done. Thank you guys. And join us for our next video where I think I'll be doing Touched by an Angel for that one. Yeah, because I mean I have a lot to talk about with Touched by an Angel, with the real life um events, for want of a better word, focusing on the actors with John John dying, and we also lost Della Reese, and with Roma Downey being the last woman standing. Oh, Valerie Bertinelli as well, but she wasn't there for the beginning. So I feel like we should really touch on Mrs. Downey being the last woman standing. So I'll be doing that. And I mean, as I said, Touched by an Angel sort of bittersweet, again with the loss of Mrs. Della Reese and John Dye. So thank you again, guys. X-Files fans, please comment, like or dislike, and subscribe. Even if you don't subscribe, even if you hate this video, I was talking gibberish or I had no idea what I was talking about where the series is concerned, at least comment, hey, you're a lousy Jamaican or something. Please, 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 please. Thank you guys. And have a good day and join us for our next one.